Welcome, everyone. We have established a quorum, so we're going to begin our open session. So at this point, can I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Can I have a motion for approval of the consent agenda items, please?
Second.
All in favor? Board communication.
We do not have any respondents this month.
Thank you, Cole. Public.
No request for public comment were submitted.
Okay. Next, we have our financial update. Come on down.
Good evening, everybody. Well, I just wanted to give wanted to give you a quick financial update of the 2022 bond project. As of the end of February, we have spent $7,204,059.46 on completed and paid invoices, and this leaves us with a current balance of $29,508.99. We are continuing to develop the 24-25 budget by estimating revenues and identifying current and new expenditures. Last week, I attended a MASA workshop on budget development in Jefferson City. Some of the key points were investigating the various revenue sources and what tools to use to project future revenues, tracking expenditures historically, and how to develop trends going forward. We are preparing for employee benefit open enrollment for the district, and it is slated for the end of April. There are no plan changes or insurance provider changes this year. We are working with building administrators to identify any necessary end of the school year expenditures. This planning will allow us to have a good understanding of any necessary transfers and budget adjustments that might be needed by June 30th.
Questions? Thank you.
Sorry, one thing. The 29,000 left in the bond from a couple years ago. What plans are there for that?
We have some open expenditures that have been processed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Academic focus. Ms. Melissa.
We are ready. We took the whole front row up, so we're really excited to be here this evening. So I'm going to bring my troops up, Mr. Hotmer and our lovely ladies. I'm going to kind of take your space, because we have a lot of people here. So Mr. Hotmer and I are very pleased to be here this evening. We have Ms. Snedinger and Mrs. Schaber, along with these lovely ladies here. The teachers came to Mr. Hotmer and I with a new proposal for a new after-school club that promotes kindness and caring within our building, our district, and our community. So super proud of the teachers for taking that initiative and then providing an opportunity for our kids after school. Mr. Hotmer?
Yeah, so I'm going to introduce our ladies. We have Miss Schauber, Carly, Abby, Emma, Lorelei, Alexa, Lexi, and Miss Snyder.
Very good. All right, teachers, take it away.
All right. Last year, Ms. Schauberg and I were trying to decide or discuss ways that we could get students to promote making a difference and just creating a positive impact on others, and so that's what started OMS Cares. Our goal is to create a space for students to make a positive impact on others within our community and our school, whether that's the staff or the students. We have anywhere from 6 to 15 students that show up. These are our regular basis girls that they show up and they do their best and they work hard. We are very proud of all the things that they do and work on. All the projects that you'll hear about tonight are their own. They've come up with these ideas. Ms. Schauberg and I are very honored and proud to be working with these girls because they do truly make an impact. They've made an impact on me. I know that there's been days where I've had a rough day, and then working with these girls after school has really been a bucket filler for me.
So going off of, these girls planned all of these projects. So at the beginning of the year when we came up with this, we kind of told them our vision. We were like, well, what do you guys want to do? Like, what can we make a positive impact in our school? And they came up with some ideas. And they're like, okay, what can we do for the community? And they came up with some ideas. Then we laid out a calendar. I mean, we got really organized. And for the whole year on Tuesdays, we planned out stuff. So they're going to talk about our big projects. Some of the small ones, behind the scenes, we picked out trash around the district. That was fun. We had a little competition, And so you saw a bunch of middle school girls. We have had one boy, at one meeting, so, but we call them the girls because it's mainly just the girls. But they were running around the whole district trying to erase because I think it was the biggest thing you could find in like the fullest bag. And so it was a fun little race, but honestly, it did pick up a lot because it was right after the construction too. So we went to a little dumping zone because they thought they could fill up more. They have put care packages together, and they're really good about this. Like when they see a teacher, they're like, I think this teacher might be feeling down. I don't know. And so they put a little care package together for the teacher. And I mean, they'll lay out all the stickers, and they'll be like, that looks like Mr. Fry, and like put it in there for him. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Like for the community, one thing they're going to talk. We've done a lot with the community, and one thing that we're hoping to do is work with a group in the community and do some beautification, maybe around the schools or just around the community. But they're really passionate about that. So I'll let them take it away now.
One of our first projects at OMS Cares Club was the Christmas Drive. It was a week-long drive collecting donations of needed supplies for students in the district. Some of the supplies that were collected: hats, gloves, personal hygiene products, dental hygiene products, plus a touring activity. After the donated items were collected, we organized and packed them for the kids in the district that were part of the bag snack program. We collected enough supplies for each student program to receive a care package, which was over 400 items donated. OMS Cares Club contributes to the students in the community of Odessa. Just one small act of kindness can go a long way.
Next, OMS Cares had a perfect idea to go visit the nursing home on Valentine's Day. This nursing home visit affected the community by making the residents happy and not sad. With this topic, we really thought deep how we could show that we cared. So we had a perfect idea to design frames with stickers on it and take pictures with the residents so they could put the pictures in their room. This activity helped us explore new things and engage with new people. This visit was very emotional and serious and made us consider how people feel and how we make them feel.
When we went to SOAR in the daycare, it taught us a lot of things to make people stay. First, we selected 2 books. At the daycare, we read to kids ages 1 to 5 at SOAR grades kindergarten and 5th grade. Then after we read books to SOAR, we played a few games of I Spy. Then at both SOAR and the daycare, we played outside. I feel like it made for daycare to give them opportunities to play with other kids, and it made me personally want to work with kids younger when I'm older. At the end, both SOAR and the daycare were asking us to come back, and we were on task with our teachers.
These are 3 of the Coffee Sleeps Cares Club made for 2 coffee companies. We made Christmas and Valentine's Day one for Coffee Camp, and St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Spring, and Kindness Sleeps for the Coffee House. Many people enjoyed this, and lots posted about how cute or cool they were. This is one of the ways we are trying to spread kindness.
We plan to go to the nursing home in April, and we're going to do another spring craft with the residents. On Valentine's Day, they just had so much fun doing the crafts that everybody just wants to do. The last speaker, we will be talking about an Easter egg hunt for the daycare facility. We'll be reading from Easter themed books and doing an Easter egg hunt where we select kids with candy and stickers for the week. I can't wait to listen next, because last time the kids loved it, so when we release it, kids are already asking us about that.
Do you guys have any questions?
They are ready for questions if you guys have any.
What's been your most favorite project that you've done this year? Just SOAR. And do you get to do that during the school day or it's after school? After school.
And I will say, you saw them, like, they're sometimes a little quiet tonight, but we watched them become leaders. And when we got with the kids, like, and like you're like, she said in hers, like, you're like, Emma, I bet you're like a future teacher. And so there was this, like, there's a slideshow, and there's a cute picture of Emma and the kids, like, you just saw them come out of their box, and in one picture, they're running away from the kids because the girl's idea, they became dinosaurs. And of course, the daycare loved that, so we had a bunch of dinosaurs running everywhere. But it was really cool to see all of them interact. Yeah, top right, the dinosaurs. And then Carly, you were gonna talk about your favorite. Oh no. I thought I heard you say something.
I just think that volunteerism and community service are just really valuable life skills, and so the fact that you guys are learning them so young and that you guys as teachers are instilling that to the students is really special. So thank you.
It's a, OMS Cares is a fantastic idea, and I hope it catches on. And next year, I hope we come back with twice as many kids.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple boys.
They're all invited, all 500 kids are invited.
We try really hard.
There's a lot of different clubs and things you guys can be doing. It's just fantastic. Service oriented. It just sees a lot of that character.
I think the nursing home, I think, is an awesome thing for you all to get in there. They love seeing people there that they don't see all the time, and for you all to be able to go and visit them and work with them is really cool. Number two, can I get some of those coffee camp coupons?
Give them, they're not coupons,
There's
they're
slide.
sleeves.
Yeah,
Oh,
they go on the
Go
cup.
give them to Mr. Hubbard, Lorelai.
I haven't thought that would be
He's a big time coffee guy, yeah.
I'll just take one.
But you were talking
Maybe
about
they'll give me a free one since I.
you were talking about the nursing home and a funny story. So we were told them we were gonna be there at 3:30. And we got there at like 3:35 because these girls were so excited that we were like, hey guys, we gotta bring it down. And so 5 minutes and they get in there, they're here. And we've been waiting. And so it was really sweet to see that. Like
Yeah.
they were looking forward to it, but we didn't realize how much the residents were gonna look forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Good for you guys.
All right. Thank you. Okay, next we have Making a Difference Recognition Award.
Yeah, for March, Making a Difference Award winner is middle school custodian, Mr. Eric Pogmeyer. Just a few things. He comes to work every single day with a positive attitude. He's always thinking of others and how he can help them. His work ethic is exceptional. He's always looking for ways to make the building better. Mr. Pogmeyer, thank you for everything you do. We appreciate your positive attitude, your passion for what you do. You do a great job, and your heart of serving students continues on in this role. So thank you very much for making a difference.
Thank you guys very much. This was very unexpected, but very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Generally, the work is kind of its own reward, with the possible exception of cleaning the grade boys' restroom. Yeah, kind of the opposite of that. 0 stars. Thank you very much.
He was recognized in front of the staff last week as well, and highlighted on social media. And again, Mr. Pogmeyer does a great job, and we appreciate everything he does for us.
Okay, can I go back to work now?
You can.
Okay, all right. Those rooms aren't going to clean themselves.
This is true.
All right.
Yeah, get to the right.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Try to build good work.
Kids love to get their razor stuck in the seat. Yeah, that was so funny. Okay, next up we have Board of Education Recognition Month.
Yes, absolutely, and I just want to give a special thanks to the Board of Education members. These members are dedicated to serving the students and staff of Odessa. It's not just, what you see, at the monthly board meeting. There's a lot of time and effort that they put into it, offering their time and talents to take on some very important responsibilities in our community and overseeing the education of our youth. And I just want to tell everyone that, and I know Brad's not here, but I personally appreciate the efforts that you guys put in. I know the staff members do, and the community does as well. As a show of appreciation, there are, Mr. Armstrong's first, if you want to present the.
Sure. I don't know, ours might be, I don't know if it's gonna be the yummiest. We're gonna continue on with our year of Willy Wonka. We decided to be the candy man. This year, our whole school read was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and then the PTO took the kids to see the new Wonka movie. We had a night at Wonka Carnival. We're gonna keep it going with baskets of candy. So we just wanted to say thank you for everything you guys do, and supporting everything that we do. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate you all. Thank you.
Don't need it all right now.
We might be trading candy. I don't know if there's the same things in there or not, but I'm not
They're the
sure.
same things, all of them, and nobody eat Brads. Nobody take Brads.
You know, we snooze, you lose.
That's right. We'll leave it with Janet.
How was the new Wonka movie received by the old owner?
Do what?
How was the new Wonka?
It was good. Not so bad. A lot of them watch the old one too, just to kind of compare and contrast, because the new one is not, like, the factory hasn't been built yet. So like, it's when he's younger and he's just learning how to make chocolate. And so it's not, it's a little different. It's a little different. Yep, thank you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
From OUE, we've got, Mr. Jordan Smith.
Excuse me. Good gracious.
We are just popping in. Say thanks for all you do. We appreciate everything that you guys do, all the time that you put into what you do to help make Odessa the awesome place that it is. We appreciate all the support that each and every single one of you always give us. So, popping in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Okay, well, yeah, well.
From the middle school.
We're coming in. So we are excited to bring this really heavy gift to you. So earlier, Mr. Hopper, how many did you carry? 8, and I carried 2. So we just appreciate everything that you guys do for the school board. We know this is a volunteer position that you guys serve for our community and for our district. So we really appreciate you guys and the time that you put into the school board. So our gift is centered around the 3 R's. So relaxing, rocking, and reading. So after Ms. Janet gives you your monthly board report each month, now you have a place to relax, rock, and read. So we appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. This is awesome.
Thank you.
I will use this a lot.
From the high school, Miss Grace is here. Mr. Shepherd has something.
Got some action photos tonight, do we?
We also appreciate everything that you guys do. We had a community effort on ours. We had a senior graphic design student design our stickers and put those on there. We had Penny from Farmhouse Flowers come out and work with our greenhouse class, and they put together the floral arrangements. And it's fun. I made cards in it, so. Well, I didn't really think about that when I first saw it.
done for our special education department the last couple years since I've been here especially. Inside your boxes, you'll find something from each building. So from early childhood, you'll have puppy chow. From the Q, you will have painted rocks that say "You rock" because you're incredible. They're not marked. Yeah, thank you. From upper elementary, you'll have bookmarks, and then also these paper flowers were created by some of our students. You can pick which one you'd like on your way out. Coasters from our middle school special education department that were handmade, and then cookies from the high school special education department. So we hope you enjoy these heartfelt handmade gifts of appreciation for all the hard work that you put into everything you do for us. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all for all this. Really appreciate it. He did. Okay. Okay, superintendent's report.
Yeah, just a few things. Your building reports are in the packet for your review. I want to point out a couple things that have gone on. We have Job Olympics coming up. April 10th, Special Education Department again this year will be hosting that at Berry Acres. Several local businesses and community members that are volunteering their time to help out again with this event. It was a great event last year. It'll be a great event again this year. So just want to point that out. The Odessa National Banner Status recognition had an assembly on February 28th at the high school here for the National Banner Celebration and Inclusive Youth Leadership Summit. It was neat. The event was held in conjunction with the Captain X Games, so there were schools from all the area that were here and were part of that celebration as well. Very proud of our students and their achievements on this recognition. A couple legislative things. As of yesterday, there still had not been much movement on open enrollment since it passed the House nearly 2 months ago. So that's kind of sitting there kind of eerily at this point. Senate Bill 799 is still being discussed with a few changes. This was a legislation that would decrease vehicles assessed valuation to next to nothing after 12 years. Could have a substantial impact on our local funding, not just ours, but all schools' local funding. And then the teacher pay, House Bill 1447, has been referred and is on the calendar. We're waiting to get on the calendar for debate in the House right now. So I anticipate that there will be some action on that one later this session. That's what I got.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have our discussion items. Presentation of the new band uniforms.
Mr. Twombly, Mr.
Come on down, Mr. Twombly.
Good evening, everyone. We've got 2 students modeling our new band uniforms for you tonight, and Mr. Whitman is holding our old band uniform. A little bit about the old band uniform. It was secondhand to us when we received them, when we purchased them years ago, even before I got here. I've been here 6 years. And so we guesstimate the age to be around 18 years old, and so it was time. The uniforms were falling apart. It was hard to keep up with them, and we just had them just falling off of hangers and not good ways. And so you can see, keeping up with the hemming, these are not buttoned here, and so having to re-hem pants every single year, it's hard on the clothing, and then the stitching and the lining on the insides of these was not keeping up. The buttons were breaking as well on the cuffs. The hats were falling apart, the plumes stunk, and they just are ugly, just to be honest with you. So we presented several different ideas to the administration, and finally we came to the conclusion that this was the company that we wanted to go with, the design we wanted to go with, and then we requested the funds from you all, and we are so thankful that you helped secure the funds for that. And so thank you so much for the purchase of 100 new uniforms that look like this. They are cutting edge. a beautiful design, and they're gonna last for 20 more years. And so thank you very much for that. I was talking with the students. They've been in these for about an hour because we wanted to make sure we had enough time to get them fitted and stay in them. And so are they, in your opinion, Tegan, are they more comfortable than the old uniforms? By a lot or a little?
A lot.
Okay. Do you like them better? Good. Emily, are they more comfortable than the old uniforms?
Yes.
And by a lot or a little?
A lot.
Cool. One of the designs that is cutting edge and something that is new, can you stick out your arm? The sleeve is actually a part of an undershirt. The vest does not have stitched in sleeves to it. And so that is something that's going to allow students, because marching season is primarily in a hotter time of the year, it's going to allow them to stay cooler, regulate their body temperature properly. And so we're really excited about that. And if we need to, they can layer underneath if it's a little bit cooler, because we are, as you guys know, because you approved our out-of-state trip, we are going to Chicago in November. I'm very, very excited about that as a program. So these will be worn by next year's band, and it's unfortunate because these two are drum majors from the year this year, and they will not get to wear them in competition, but they got the first dibs on wearing them fully put together before everybody else. So nice little caveat for these two leaders of ours. So just thank you very much. Do you have any questions about the uniforms? Anything you'd like to know about?
They look great.
Yeah.
Very, very good design.
Is there an option to wear just the vest without the long sleeves underneath for like a summer parades or?
We could do just the vest with, we have just a dry fit short sleeve shirt that they could wear with it, and it would be even cooler, absolutely. Yes, and then there's another option. I could go on a long time, but I'll give you the cliff notes of it. Because the undershirt is kind of its own thing, we could do other colors with that. We could do red, we could do white, we could do a bunch of different things. The pants, the bibbers is what they're called, because they're full overalls. They could be different colors as well. We could customize the sash. Can you remove your sash? It's just Velcro on. So if we wanted to do a different design later down the road, we have options, you know. And then these are also attached by Velcro on the back as well. So if we wanted to change the uniform look over time, or if, you know, if we didn't like the sash for a windy day or whatever, we can modify it on the fly pretty easily, and it still looks super sharp.
Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate everything you do for our band program. So I mean, advocating for the kids and the program. I had the opportunity to sit next to the band during a football game this year, and I can honestly say, I hope you know, head coaches are listening to me, that I probably enjoyed the band just as much, if not more than I did the football game. So like, you do amazing with the kids. Like it was awesome. Like it was something to see for sure. So yeah, the band's doing great things, and you know, it's under your leadership. So thank you. I appreciate that.
I really appreciate it.
And the student section is so engaged.
Oh, it's awesome.
Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
amazing with
If
like
you've never
the
sat down there,
ups
you
and
should.
downs and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, it's
Yes,
great.
definitely. Yeah, it's fun.
It's a fun time. The kids work hard. I'll say that.
Fondly congratulations, and it well deserved. And I hope in a year or two you're coming saying that you need more uniforms because you got over 100 kids. So
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
it would be nice. It would be nice.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, kids, for being here. Thank you for modeling for us.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. Really nice. Really nice.
Good night, everybody.
No one turned around and looked back. They didn't look back, they just kept on rolling.
Okay, next up we have the Child Care Center.
Yeah, as previously discussed, the Child Care Center has not seen any increases in rates, yet the employees have seen several hourly increases in their wage. Currently, most employees are part-time, and using this as a baseline year, there were a few scenarios in your packet, and I added a couple just for the point of discussion. If we were to keep the staffing schedule the same, and increase the rates $40 to $55 a week over the next 3 years, the facility will be at a break-even point. The second scenario was if we were to move those staff to full-time, the rates would need to increase $150 to $155 a week over the next 3 years for that break-even point. added a scenario yesterday, that if we were to increase them, $5 per year over the next 5 years, it would still be a negative, deficit. And then a final one that if we were to increase it, I guess that was about $20 a year for the next 2 years, it would get to that break-even point. The only thing I would say, and I mentioned it in there, is then to sustain that, you would have to see a slight increase in it. So once you get to that point where it was a break-even, you would have to sustain that with increases to offset any salary increases.
I don't have any kids in childcare, but what does anybody know? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's great.
John and I emailed back and forth a little bit. The over 2 years, so I think is 2, and I paid 205 a week. We're at 110 right now for that age category. So
It is, you know, I saw that, and, you know, we definitely are on the cheap side of things. And, you know, most of the child care centers that aren't at a school, you know, I'd say BBA's open from 6 to 6. So, and there is people that bring their kids at 6:01 and pick them up at 5:59. Okay, I just say, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And we have, ours is open from when?
6:30 to 4:30.
4:30 right now, yeah.
You know, so, and it makes it hard for some people that work to use our facilities and get home in time to pick their kids up.
I think being below an institution like UVA makes sense for the hours that we offer and because we're not open during the summer. So I think paying more than an institution like the UVA makes sense. But I think getting closer to what they're at, just so we're not in a deficit.
That's right.
And we have a lot of teachers that use our services there, right?
Yeah.
Is it mostly?
It's not I would say over half of the population is probably Odessa R-VII employees.
It still rates
children.
probably significantly cheaper than, and I'm assuming even like Oak Grove, the further you get into the city, the more expensive it's gonna get. So, you know, I think, we still pay a little bit cheaper.
And price, I mean, is a factor, but the fact that our community doesn't have a lot of options for childcare puts families in a bind. So it's just unfortunate, and I think that's a lot of communities who don't have childcare options. They're just not enough.
Yeah. I hate to put it, more of a burden on people that are using our facility, but then at the same time, at what cost, I think that it needs to make sense for the district. We are pretty negative
Well, I think there's a couple things that we need to consider here. You know, those people that work out there, in my opinion, should be full-time. They work every day. And to be able to do that, you know, unfortunately, I think we're going to have to ask our community and the employees to help out with that some. I don't think we need to break even, but I think we need to get closer to it, kind of like Kelsey was saying. You know, it's with everybody. How long has it been since it's really gone up, John?
I don't know when the last rate increase was.
We used it over 10 to 10 years ago, but that's how much it was.
It's been
And,
15
you know,
20 years.
I don't think we're being unfair by asking.
So we increased the time to 5 o'clock then, based on your projection?
Yeah, I believe that did increase a little bit, moved it back a little bit. To put those people on full-time though, significantly increases the cost. So that second page kind of lays out that scenario where we're at right now at 135 and 110. over the course of 3 years to get to that. You know, the proposed rate for next year would increase about $50. And we would lose more next year, but then that would start to counterbalance itself as we get closer to 26, 27 with that amount of rate. Again, that's the full-time scenario.
I don't think we can do that. But it has this, by the 26-27 school year, charging $260 a week for a 2-year old. But I just think that's way more than it should be for what would be offered. I mean, we would have longer days, but would that have us open during the summer?
No.
So I don't think we can do that.
Well, but you pay weekly or monthly? I mean, it would still, I mean, I understand what you guys are saying, but I mean, to me, those people are full-time.
There's a salary schedule for them.
But do they get benefits?
A couple of them do, so not all of them.
What we're talking full-time is benefits, right?
Would be, well, they're still paying into retirement because they all work enough
Right.
hours and they're paying into that, but they don't all get insurance. And that's a significant cost.
Right.
Dr. O, the last time was 2015-16 when a rate increase happened.
Okay.
We went from 120 in the year prior to that to 15-16 being 135, 110, 135.
I feel like it's still district, we serve so many district's employees that I think this still needs to be considered one large benefit to the district. And take people who work here, if they use it.
I agree with that. And they should, you know, when it comes to open spots, I don't know how they work that, but in my opinion, employees in the district should get.
But it needs to be closer to the going rate in my mind. It can be both. I think it's a little one or the other.
So are you saying operate at a deficit to have full-time staff? I'm just asking,
If operating at a break-even point doesn't make sense for them to send their children to Odessa to this, then I'm fine with operating a slight deficit. Because it's a benefit.
In my opinion, Cole, I agree 100% with what you're saying, but if we're talking about a benefit, then we're not talking about breaking even. If we want to break even, then I don't know how we can make it a benefit. Because what we're talking about benefit is trying to help out our teachers or give them something, right? Well, how do we do that and break even? So I don't know, I'm gonna tell you guys this, I was on the board when we did that, and I don't think we ever built that to worry about breaking even and making money.
You do from
That's
the
from the start, I don't think that was ever brought up about breaking even.
Were they aware that they could potentially lose $100,000 a year? Was that like, is that
And
something that?
that is our fault,
Yeah.
because we haven't raised our prices in almost 10 years, 9 years.
How many people, do we have anybody that's full-time there, or is everybody part-time?
I think there's 3,
Full-time, and then how many part-time?
8 or 9.
Another 1, 2, 3.
Did we say
Yeah.
2 full-time plus 30 hours?
Yeah, two
20?
full-time plus the director. I would say
48.
Oh, okay, so 25 to 30 maybe.
So are you of the opinion then that we need to be operating at this?
You know, I mean, we need to try to operate as close as we can to the red, But if we're gonna give a benefit to our teachers, I don't think you can run it like a business.
No, you can't.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can say, okay, it's gonna take this much money to pay the light bill and pay everything. I don't think we can do that. Now, we don't wanna lose, like Adam said, we don't wanna lose $100,000 a year. I mean, we can't do that. But I think we can get closer to where we wanna be.
At some point, perhaps we can put that $100,000 to better use.
Exactly, exactly. I agree with that 100%, but I guess what I'm hearing where we're all at, we need to raise our prices, no matter what we do. And maybe this isn't the year we talk about making full-time employees. But I sure would like.
I like we could just gradually, over the course of, 5 years, increase it so it's not just a burden to families. I mean, if we can, or even if we have a cap at some point where we don't exceed $200, then that's where we're at. But
I think if we can raise it $10 or $15, or excuse me, $15 or $20 a week for the next 2 to 3 years to get us where we're not operating in the red, and then we can discuss moving employees to full-time or how we want to adjust it from there, but.
The dynamics could be different in
Yeah.
that short a time too.
Exactly.
I mean, just what happens in the community and the
Right.
school and.
That's not a service that we have to provide. Correct? Isn't that burden funding?
You know, I was talking to John about that. I know we had a bond issue, but I was thinking we got some grant money off that too. Now, I can't tell you for sure. Maybe the grant money was to put the stuff inside. I think I'm almost sure we got grant money, but it's been so long. But, yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I'm like you. I don't.
Local donation for sure, they put forward.
But I just hate to think that we have, those are important people too in our district. And we can't offer them a lot, but benefits is a lot. So I hope, I understand where we're at now, but I hope in the next year or two that we can come back, and I really don't believe that we ought to have anybody that I consider them full-time working here that doesn't get benefits.
Was there a discussion that the people there want to be full-time?
We haven't sat down with them. I think there could likely be some that don't, but likely some that would too.
I think that's important information to have too, is they are there because they wanna be in. I think that's an important piece to.
And do we have, you gotta think, you got 9 people that are working 25 to 30, you're gonna add 10, just say 12 hours a week times 9, that's 108 hours. If we extend only by a half an hour, is there really enough to go around? Or then are you talking about, well, we'll have, instead of having 9 part-time working 25 to 30, does it transition to 7 or 8 that are 40 hours a week full-time? I don't
We've
know.
kind of played around with the schedule scenario, what that would look like, and you almost need to use the same number of staff to be able to attain that goal.
To hit 40 hours. So you,
The ratios and stuff.
oh, I
Yeah.
get it. Okay, that makes sense. So not necessarily time to do things, but more along the lines of making sure they have the set number of people there for however many.
That
For the number of
Right,
kids.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's right.
See, I'm thinking of some of that daycare stuff. So.
it's been a while since we've had kids.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense.
Okay,
All right.
I will likely bring something back, at least for discussion, possible recommendations.
All right, next up, we have the multi-purpose facility update.
Dr. Fagan.
So just a quick update, Olson, been on site doing some boring soil evaluations, just to work on structural and what's needed, elevations for
grades for their survey, utilities, those types of things they've been on the site. IDS has also been working on some cost estimates based on previous conversations and things that, you know, what are our needs and wants, want or don't want kind of things in there. So they've also been talking with structural engineers on how to connect or not connect with the building, and then also a little bit of a design, just kind of a rough, see the outline, just kind of a rough idea of the space that's we've talked about it, but not really seen it professionally. That's kind of what's been going on out there.
So the inner square on that, is that basically the layout of what a basketball court would be if that were about the size of it?
I'm sorry, I just noticed this. It says demo interior walls in classroom. That's in Ms. Wigg's classroom, is that correct?
So that would be an option as a place to put a hallway into the new.
Oh, okay.
So it would be like adding, just above that dotted line would be adding a hall, and then if we did that, that would be that closet that's in that room in order to make that classroom big enough to utilize. So.
Oh. Okay, I understand. I understand what you're saying. Like you're digging into the square footage of that classroom for the hallway.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
I like that it ties into the locker rooms. Yeah, three points there, we're trying to figure out how to tie in the existing building.
With Miss Wade's classroom, I mean, would it be reduced in size by adding that hallway? Or would it still be pretty similar?
Square footage wise, probably not. We took out that square
that
room.
closet.
But that's also a space they use for like some of the store, the things that they lock up to. So, you know, we'd have to talk about it. Is that still the best spot or what in your classroom? So, square footage wise, it probably actually would be reduced in all classroom.
She just wouldn't have her storage closet.
Is that storage closet to the east of her classroom pretty heavily utilized?
That could be an option. Right now, a couple of different sports use it. Baseball, cheer, golf, but there are some other spots in some locker rooms that we could, coming into that a little bit, would be an option, I think.
The gap between buildings, what's the plan for that?
So that's really their big discussion item right now is ideally you put it up against the building so there is no gap. But then that's where the structural conversations are coming in because it's gonna be taller. So like your snow runoff and all that, well, the existing building has to be rated well enough to accommodate that. So there's been some talk about where you connect it, you come down to a lower roof height where it connects to, that carries the load instead of the existing building. The goal, really ideally for the space, would be not to have that gap at all between there, just security and debris and stuff blowing in. And that's really where the discussion is. This particular picture is showing, you see on the north side there where those closets would be connected, but then it does show a gap there on the east side. But there's some overhang on the building on that side too, instead of that mesh up to the wall.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, next up we have district facilities.
Yeah, in your packet is a list of capital improvements that the board needs to review and consider. This list includes building facilities as well as large expenditure maintenance items. Items are also gonna be included as we continue to pull together the long-range capital improvement plan. Because these are all things that they're on the horizon and they're coming. They're in no particular order, it's just a list of things that I wanna make sure that we're paying attention to and not forgetting anything. Something I did forget to put on there, Ron and I were talking about it yesterday. We're gonna have to do something with the track surface. It has to be resprayed periodically. It hasn't been since it was put down in 17. So that's another thing that would be a large maintenance item that would need to be added to this thing. So you'll see these things again as we talk long range facilities.
As we get closer, we want to put something together year by year for us.
We're working on a long range plan right now, what that year by year looks like, a lot of different factors.
Finances.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just like this. I see baseball field, football field. Are there things with the softball field that are
Probably needs to be considered at the same time when you're looking at baseball field improvements. What improvements do we need to make at the softball field?
I see like turf, but I know the outfield is grass, like, and I don't know, like, it just has upkeep and things like that been done to make sure that is.
Yeah, I think the outfields are in pretty
The
good
outfields are
condition.
both in pretty good shape. We've discussed some drainage things on, well, we fixed some drainage things on the baseball field. But no, the outfields are in pretty good shape overall.
I just don't want us to forget about the softball.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm assuming a lot of these things will have, it'll be like, this is how much to repair, like what the scenario would look like, how long it would last, versus do we just go ahead and buy the bullet, instead of repair, replace, that'll all be.
Yeah, and some of it, there's a lifespan on, for example, on turf, and we're close of baseball. We had several repairs done. So when you go up there and look at it right now, you'll see different shades of turf where they've come in and made repairs. We've had repairs done on the football field as well. You can't see those. They're mostly just cuts where, say for example, they put in a hash mark, well, the glue came loose underneath, so they've got to go back in and repair that. But you've got end of life on a lot of those things as well, so yes, you'll get that.
Including buildings? Including buildings?
Yeah.
So, let me ask you a question, and I'm 100% for the turf on the baseball field, but is that you don't see very many baseball fields with turf on them. Is that something that our coach and everybody still likes?
I think you see more and more all the time that do have turf. I think they do like the turf. When we get to that point of consideration, you're going to get an estimate on multiple different things, so you can consider: do we turn it back to a natural surface, which is an expense too, because of the bases underneath there.
The only thing with the turf is it allows them to play sooner after rain.
Right.
And we've had schools from other districts use our field because it was turf. They had dirt. So.
I just look at it when you go to a college or when you go to even MLB, how many turf fields do you play on? That's right. That's exactly right. So was it really a good thing, or is it,
I mean,
don't get me wrong, we have turf, I'm good, they like it.
I mean, some you have like dirt, maybe at home plate in the pitcher's mound where it gets, and maybe even around your bases where you get the most wear and tear, but, and then they have turf throughout the rest of it.
I think Chad, what I was reading, and it didn't mean it's right, but it's no different than college or like SEC or even the pros. They're all now starting to go back to natural grass because of injuries. And, I know the SEC has told all the schools that they have so long to get their fields back to natural grass. I believe what I read is that everybody's going back to grass because of injuries. So, I'm not against turf. We've got it. I'd like to fix it, but I'm just asking. Because I would have thought in this amount of time you'd see more baseball fields than turf. I know.
Like I said, I think for scheduling purposes, I think the turf works. I mentioned the you know, Sherry probably loves it because she didn't have to cancel as many
Right,
baseball
right,
games,
yeah,
you know.
just-
But I mean, that would be going downfall, kind of like football, even, you know,
And
with,
You don't get me wrong, I don't want the baseball families to think I don't want the turf, it's not
The
that.
thing is, you can
you know.
design turf fields these days, or not, grass fields can be designed so much better these days, drainage wise, that a lot of those benefits that you have.
but that's
with turf,
if it's done right the first
if it's
time.
done right the first time.
I mean, I know in our softball field, I mean, the home plate is a disaster. It needs clay put in. I mean, it's, the batters get in there, they dig it out, and you got these big holes in the ground. So, I mean, if you talk to any softball parent, or even player, they're not happy with their softball field because of that. But if it's done right, then you're right.
And
It
so
could be,
then, the SAC top players, they'll pay for that.
Yeah.
That may be how far.
Well, that
I
may
mean, when
be,
we had a football field, grass football field, I mean,
Yeah.
we couldn't practice on it because you know, we wanted the grass to be perfect, and you know, there's a lot of sacrifice when it comes to natural fields. I feel like.
there is. Okay, sorry to get off on that.
No, you're fine. Good conversation.
Anything else anybody have on district facilities?
Because a lot of these are maintenance things that we need to be doing and prioritizing as a district. Some of these are public input things that we can do some outreach and, would you get behind this, what do you wanna see,
We're gonna talk about that here in just a little bit.
differentiate between the two.
Yeah.
Cause some of these are things we have to do, the roads have to be done.
Right.
Asphalt repair.
Okay. Next up, we have bereavement leave.
Yeah, this has been brought to my attention, actually, when we started the review of the district CSIP in January, as part of priority area number 3. Committee members were asking about leave time for staff members. Bereavement leave is not something the district has given days for, to staff members in the past. Staff members have been allowed to use, their own personal leave for bereavement, but there were no days that were considered bereavement leave given by the district as a benefit. You know, if this is something that the board wanted to do, I would recommend discussing what those parameters would be as to, eligible for leave. And I would also recommend that whenever, if this is something the board wants to do, it starts in conjunction with a new school year, fiscal year, which would be July of whatever year, whether it was.
This is, I think that we would be silly not, now that it's been brought to our attention, to not put that into, and especially, I mean, I think the setting the parameters would be very easy, and, because those important people that we do, that's the last thing that we want our people to have to worry about, is the time away, and, I would vote to do it right now.
No, I agree. It's another benefit that if we can do it for our staff, it's well worth it. It's the right thing to do. That's exactly right.
Say, draft up the parameters.
Okay.
So they can have
I'll do that. Is there anything specific that you can think of? I know it's just kind of off the cuff. I've looked at some samples as to, what is common with a lot of school districts, so I can definitely, put together that type of,
That's what I read, significant other, child, parent, those things make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, grandparents.
Yeah.
and typically,
4 to 5 days, I think, if you consider like travel time, and, not all of us are fortunate enough to have people within driving distance. So, I mean, I say 4 to 5 days, so they don't have to worry about traveling and getting back.
Maybe you can look and see what other schools do, how many days they do.
typically you're gonna see it in a range of 3 to 5. they'll say specifically 3 days or 5 days or 4. But that's usually the range from what I've seen in research.
I think where I work it's 5.
I was on this committee with John, and just another consideration for us to think about is if there's more than one death in a school year of one of those linear relatives, like, do you only get 3 bereavement days per school year, or you know, if you have a parent and then a child, heaven forbid.
Yeah.
But just that's just something else.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, maybe consider that.
Do you have to limit? Or can you just say bereavement?
I would make sure to limit the number of days.
Well, I mean times, the amount of times that they
Oh.
take it.
No, but I would want that to be spelled out in policy. If you're gonna allow bereavement leave more than once a year,
God forbid somebody loses someone, 3 times in 1 year, potentially.
But if it falls under the category that you listed under, what's it matter? If it's a grandparent, a son, I mean, you got it spelled out right there. You know what I mean? I don't think you need to limit the amount of times they can do it.
Do other districts have that,
I won't say I don't know. I've not read that in any of them, but I can do some research on it.
so maybe just case by basis?
Right.
Chance of that is probably pretty low, but case by case basis.
Is there a limit at Green Valley that you know?
I just think that there will be, I mean, nobody's gonna take advantage of bereavement. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't imagine, I shouldn't say nobody, but I think if you said who it's for and the amount of days, I don't see that there's any gray area with that.
Even if it happened 2 or 3 times.
We need to do whatever we can to take care of our people if
I
that's
agree.
lasted, if it's happened that many times.
Yeah.
So significant.
I agree with that.
Okay. Good.
Okay, next up, we have action items, job descriptions.
Yeah, the following job descriptions are presented for board consideration and approval. Process coordinator, elementary instructional coach, secondary instructional coach. Each job description includes a summary, essential duties, responsibilities, qualifications, physical demands, attendance, conditions and environment for the terms of employment.
Do we have any questions for?
I can't remember, I think I remember, but I just want to clarify, the process coordinator, it's not just one. It's one for,
One for each building, but they're all, the job description would fit for each.
right, that's what, I just want to make sure that that's how I understood the first time, but.
Yep.
And then the elementary coach would be for OUE and Clary. And secondary would then split between.
Any other questions? If not, I need a motion to approve the process coordinator, elementary instructional coach, secondary instructional coach, as presented in the job description.
So,
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, our long-range planning data collection.
Yeah, as the district continues to develop that long-range plan for capital improvements, the administration recommends contracting the services of Excellence K-12 to perform a survey of the community. The data gathered from the survey work and analysis can help the district determine the support the community could have for a future ballot issue to improve district facilities. I've asked Mr. Rick Noble from Excellence K-12 to be here to answer any questions you might have about the process, the survey. They would obviously work hand in hand with us leading up to that, make sure that they were asking the questions that the board wants answered. did include the proposal in the packet for you to review, and we'll just say if you have any questions for us, we'll be happy to.
Do you normally have a pretty good feedback on the surveys from communities and organizations that you do this with?
It's a phone survey, so we talk to 300 people that actually take the survey. We disperse the people we talk to match your population pattern, so it gives us a 5.6% margin of error, and we've had really good luck with that. We've worked with 155 school districts and helped them raise almost $8 billion. So we've done a few of them, and we've had a good time doing them, and we've kind of honed it over the years to make it work pretty good.
So I read in here that you have these meetings, and basically you take our input. Does that happen at board meetings, or is this something that you would?
Usually it's a planning session, and I usually recommend that it's not the full board, maybe the superintendent and one or two members, just to keep the group, you get your arms around the group.
Yeah.
Doesn't take long, it takes about an hour.
And you said that you're randomly selecting phone numbers to contact,
Yes.
is that correct? So there's no way of ensuring that they're at least 18 years old so they're voting age? Can you expand on that a little bit?
We screen them, that's the first thing that we do on the list. They have to be registered voters, head of household, male or female, and they have to know that they live in the district. We know they live in the district because we buy a brand new phone list every time we do this, district phone list, so far it's a bad month. But if you don't know you live in the district, you're probably not gonna vote, so we pass on those folks.
And so you're polling 300
300.
registered voters. Yeah, so if they're not a registered voter, you just discontinue the call
Go to
and
the
call
next
to the next person. Okay.
And I know 300 doesn't sound like a lot, but when Gallup does a national poll for presidential elections or something like that, they only talk to 1,100 people, and they get a 4%, 3.9% margin of error. Funny how that stuff works. I don't know how it works, I just do it.
I'll be truthful, Mr. Noble, on most of our elections, we don't have but about 1,500 people probably vote.
Yeah.
Total. I mean, it is unfortunate, but normally it's about our numbers, isn't it, in there somewhere, so. Yeah, it could be a little high, but.
I will tell you just through experience, the number of voters that you typically have doesn't always impact the number of voters you will have for something like a bond issue, especially when you're asking people for money.
Right.
Did one in Platte City a number of years ago where they normally had less than 5,000 people, and that's what we kind of planned for, was to get 2,500 votes, 2,501 votes. Had a negative campaign against it. They had 17,000 people voting. So we always say, err on the caution side with that kind of thing. So.
I think it's valuable, and I think, moving forward with some of the bigger items that we're gonna have to look into, it's gonna be important data and information for us.
The way I understand it, it's not just things that we sit down and talk with you about, but it does offer an opportunity for them to give suggestions. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes. And we'll recommend sections to this. There's a grading section, strengths and weaknesses, what we call performance questions. And what we do is ideas that you have that you think you're going to use a bond issue for, we'll list all those singularly and ask about it singularly. And ask people, if this were on the ballot, would you support it? After we've done all that, then we do tax tolerance. And we ask them, if this costs $100 a year, could you support it? If not, could you do 80? And 3 questions, 180, 60, whatever those numbers are for you. And so you come out of it with a really strong idea of what people want, what they're willing to pay. And then the last section is demographics. So we report gender, we ask age, we ask how long you've been in the district, do you have kids in the district, all of those things. Then we're going to give you a dashboard, digital dashboard, and you can go in forever and look at all the data, look at all the numbers, and slice it and dice it to get just exactly what you were looking for.
It's going in
It's
August.
April.
Talking about
We
the
would
police
get,
station.
I like the cost of this, why are we doing this? I mean, just
Right.
to get a sense of where they're at after just passing, something like that. Or not passing.
I think we're talking about asking for money, additional funding for something, maybe for a new school or something like that. I think, you know, the more data we can have from the community, the better we can make a decision. I mean, it's gonna be invaluable, the information that we get out of this, so I think as a board, we can use all the information we get out of it.
One quick thing that I'll add, in addition to the telephone survey, we're going to give you, no charge, an online survey that will ask the newspaper to print the link, you put it on your website, to the link. However, you can get in touch with people, email blast, whatever, to say, hey, there's a community survey, and we want to hear every voice. Now, I'll tell you that online surveys has a margin of error of 50%. It's not great data, but what that does is that gives you the opportunity to say that everybody who comes up to you complaining about it, you have the opportunity to have your voice heard, and we'll present that information to you. You'll have all that information that you want. You can compare it to the phone survey, which is statistically accurate. And it's just it's really good PR moving for you. And you sometimes get some interesting things on that you didn't get on the phone survey. So.
I think anything we can do to set ourselves up for failure on a vote by the public is optimal. I love data, surveys, things like that, so I think it's a great idea.
Okay. Any other questions for this proposal? If not, I need a motion to approve the proposal with excellence K-12.
So,
All in favor? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you coming in.
Thanks.
We'll be in touch.
Okay.
Okay, next up, we have an out-of-state student travel request.
Okay.
So this is for a April trip this year, FBLA students for the National Life Smarts Championship. Great opportunity, great group of kids to qualify for nationals coming up in April. We're going to San Diego.
Okay. Any discussion? If not, I need a motion to approve the out-of-state student travel request. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, next up, we have our established board reorganization meeting. And I will need a motion to approve the April 16th meeting.
so moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, at this time, we need a motion to conduct a closed executive session, including any record or vote in the next scheduled meeting pursuant to statutes contained in chapter 16.021 Artisan Rules. Can I have a second?
Second.
Aye.
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 And I need a motion to adjourn.